What's up, everybody? Unrested back again, and today I tried something totally different, totally new for our video. I got together with another great J-vlogger. His name is Mexican Samurai 100. I want you to go check him out as soon as you can because he's got a lot of great videos. He's got videos on stories about his life in Japan, videos about him teaching in Japan. And when this guy teaches, he teaches for real. When you want to ask me about, hey, how should I teach in Japan? What kind of teacher should I be like? You need to look at this guy and how he teaches. This guy's got the type of passion and intensity that will make you a good teacher in Japan. If you can even do maybe, 1/4 of what he does for his teaching, you'll be a great teacher. All right, because this guy's, you can tell, you'll as soon as you watch his videos, you'll know what he's a pro. Anyway, obviously, him and I actually have a lot of experiences that are the same. We're both Gaijin, obviously, in Japan. We both have large tattoos in Japan. We both have kids in Japan, and we're both married to a Japanese person in Japan. So we have a lot to discuss. We've got a lot of hobbies that are in common and everything like that. So we got together. We thought, let's go ahead and make a J-vlog together. And this J-vlog was actually about what it's like to be a Gaijin dad here, some of the things we face, what it's like to raise a kid here, and just some of the things that come with, raising a child in Japan. I do have to tell you, I have to warn you really right away, this was my first time ever recording a chat. I did it on Google+. I used a site called Screenomatic, which wasn't so good. It cut off part of the video at the bottom. I didn't know it was doing that. And so you actually won't see my face until the second half of the video. And that's because this thing only records 15 minutes at a time and then stops. I've got to find better software. But sorry, this is my first time ever doing it. The screen won't switch between him and I because I forgot to do split screen and all other kinds of problems. This was my first time, okay? So please forgive me. This video, the mistakes that were made are completely my fault. And it will get better as I learn how to do this better. I will say I 100% borrowed this idea from Hiko Simon and Victor, who started the two Oyajis type thing. Of course, I don't consider myself an Oyaji yet. I'm still Otokomai. But I thought, nonetheless, I would still like to do a video where I do discuss stuff that are same topics with another Gaijin. So I hope you enjoy this.
I'm ready.
All right, so here we are. I'm Unrested, and I'm here with Mexican Samurai 100. Is that, you go by the full name?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're out in Kyushu, right?
Yes.
And I'm here in Osaka, as probably most of you know. We've each been doing our own vlogging thing for a while, but we thought we'd team up today because, well, we kind of have pretty much like the same living situation, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, you're there with a family, you've got kids and everything. Same here, I've got a kid, so we thought, why not? And I guess you've already done this with Victor and Hiko Simon too, or I guess at least Hiko Simon. Victor does.
We didn't talk about kids or anything, so.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, good. Because so we're not just rehashing an old topic.
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right, well, good then.
Dads,
Well, yeah, I actually did a I call it a JFAQ, Japanese Frequently Asked Questions, about having a kid here, and I got, surprisingly, it's one of my highest rated videos for people who watched it and had questions. So I thought I'd expand upon it more, along with another person in the same situation.
Sounds good.
All right, so I wrote up a couple things that are discussion questions for us today. I just put them right there in the recording, so it's going to mess up the recording later. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Okay, so we've got... Okay, how about this? In Japan, when you go out with your kid, do you find that people interact with you? That come up and talk to you, or are really surprised by your kid, or want to come, see your kid a lot?
I think our conversations kind of freak people out because I'll talk to him in English and he'll answer me back in Japanese, and people are looking at us like, well, what the hell, They're like, what's going on over here? I hear English, but he's speaking. So I think we get a lot of stares.
Mm-hmm.
We don't actually get people who come up to us and just talk to us or engage conversation, we have you like that. But you know, it's we get a lot of stares. That's about it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, the staring thing is something we get really used to living here, don't we? So it's probably to a
Yeah,
point that we're almost numb to it
yeah,
at this
oh,
point.
definitely.
Do you ever get, like, you never get, one thing I was really surprised about is that, like, if I'm on the train with my kid and I'm feeding him, I've had, like, old ladies come up and, like, try to wipe his mouth with, like, napkins and stuff. Like,
Really?
yeah, I've had,
Yeah,
like,
I've had it before.
never had anything like that.
I've had people do that before. And it's like old ladies, they do
Yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a negative thing. Though. I think that's a pretty cool thing.
No. That's just, I think they're just, like, excited to take care of kids. I think that's all
And you
that.
know what? It just goes to show you that Japan wasn't always like it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a closer community
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you can really see it in the old people. You know, especially when kids that greet like Roman. He gets really excited when he talks to old people because they interact with him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he'll just walk up and say, "Oh, konnichiwa, obata genki desu ka?" And he'll just engage in conversation. They will be so happy, and they just light up,
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes to show you that Japan wasn't, you know, um, like it is now. It wasn't always like this. Everyone
Right.
for themselves, and they really don't engage in conversation.
I
Quite as they
think,
used to.
and that also has a different trend from the different areas. Like probably your area is a little more relaxed, and my area too. Osaka's known for people will come up and talk to you, but I've heard from, and I've experienced this too from going to Tokyo. It's super cold at times.
Yeah.
It's you get that.
Dude, I think 2 days is my limit in Tokyo, man.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I can't really take Tokyo.
2 days is my limit. I'll go there and I'll get what I need and I'll just come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I appreciate life in Kyushu more, man. It's
Well,
it's like you said, it's more kicked back and it's really nice.
Well, it's more family oriented too, right? I mean, Tokyo is awesome if you're like a young upcoming guy who's gonna like, attack the world. I mean, that's awesome. That's the place to be. You can be a mover and a shaker there, and that's pretty much what it's for. It's for a dynamic business personality. But
Right.
yeah, if you're trying to raise a family, the heart of Tokyo is kind of like,
No,
yeah.
I couldn't picture myself doing it. I'd rather go back to the States, to be honest with you. To raise a kid
Yeah.
in Tokyo.
Yeah, because it would be like dealing with that along with insane crowds. I just can't take the insane crowds there. It's just too much.
Yeah, and it's something, in LA, for example, you grew up in LA, you need a car to get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, in Tokyo, it's a lot like New York, I guess. And I've never been to New York, but Tokyo is pretty close to it. And the transportation system and just the hustle and bustle of the big city,
Well, that's what I think.
It's crazy.
Well, that's just the thing. Like you're talking about right now with transportation. I think people might not be able to imagine it, but trying to get a baby cart onto a train packed full of people it's not just difficult. It's dangerous. Like
Yeah.
it really is. Like I mean, you've got like salarymen swinging suitcases and stuff. Not on purpose or anything. This is just like we're so crammed in there.
Yeah.
Even in Osaka, I experienced that. Like I've had times where I've had to take them to like a different place in the morning, and it's just like I have to try and arrange him next to a wall so that
Right.
people aren't crowding into him. Yeah.
Right. I did the baby cart thing once,
Mhm.
and I swear, dude, I almost killed a couple of people. It was like, because they push in Tokyo,
Yeah.
Push, and it's like one of those baby cars like squeezed up against the wall, and these people, they don't even, they don't even look where they're going.
Yeah.
I really can't blame them, but it's the simple fact that they're about to crush my kid.
Yeah.
That just terrifies me.
Yeah.
And I just found myself just pushing people out the way. I was like, hey, get the back.
Yeah.
Hey, get back. Look, there's a baby car right here, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And they look at me like I'm crazy,
No, I completely understand. I understand you there. I've been in the same situation, so I completely understand what you're talking about. Yeah, it does. It gets absolutely insane. And I guess that'll bring us to what do you find convenient and inconvenient about raising a kid in Japan?
It's safe.
Yeah.
It's safe here, dude.
Especially your area, right? Even more so.
Definitely. And the elementary school, which Roman will be attending next year, is 2 minutes away.
Oh, nice.
You know.
And that's just walking 2 minutes away.
Yeah, walking 2
Nice.
minutes away. You know.
And you could let him walk there himself. You'd still be safe, right?
Yeah.
It's that kind of country, safe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, I couldn't picture. You see the kids walking home by themselves, and that's crazy. When I first saw that when I came out here, I was like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, you know.
Dude, I mean, you see kids who are like 5 and 6 getting off the train. Like even younger than that sometimes. You're just like, oh my god, you're by yourself on the train. Like, where is your mom? You're like, nah, I'm headed to school by myself.
And that's a normal. You know, sometimes I think these kids are lost. You know, I'm like, you know, hey, where's your mom? You know, we're walking home from school. I was like, okay, you guys all right? Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm like, dang, you know.
Right?
I can't imagine anything like that in LA, you know. But
Oh yeah.
it's safe, man. It's safe. Raising kids here is just safe.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's probably the number one thing I really enjoy about knowing my kid's going to grow up here is the fact that it's safe, that there's not as much bad influences. I think also the fact that there is a strong emphasis on education here.
Yeah.
It's got a certain level of respect.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent, you're right. Now, there are some points where, there are some points where Japan needs to pick it up a little bit, unfortunately, and that's the things I'm worried about. That's where the inconveniences come in.
You and me both, man, because it's like, I basically look at the school system here. I'll be sending Roman to a social club, 8:30 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the way I look at it. As far as his education, what have you, as far as I'm concerned, when he gets home, that's when his education is going to start.
Pretty much, because the student in Japan at this point is treated like a customer, right? Not like a student, like a customer, right?
And it's like the teachers are so terrified of the parents out here. It's ridiculous, you know. I mean, they have so much to worry about here, opposed to teachers like in the States. What happens? You know, teachers in the States, they educate and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't babysit, and there's an expression such as home training. Okay, teachers would be quick to say, "You have no home training." Here, it's like the responsibility of what they should be teaching at home falls on the shoulders of the teachers as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that really surprised me when kids would act up really bad in class, and then you would tell the parent, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you didn't train them to do that yet?" And be like, well, "No, because I'm not with them 24/7. Like, why would I teach your kid etiquette?"
There was this kid at Roman's daycare the other day. His mother, her son is like walking around and saying "baka baka baka," okay, which means stupid or idiot, right?
Right.
And it's not a good word for a kid to use. It's not a good word for anybody to use. But he's calling everybody baka, and then so his mother is laughing it off and saying, "Well, the teachers at elementary school, they'll take care of that when he goes to elementary school next year."
And this is typical.
What the hell, you know?
Yeah, they'll say that, or they'll say that the coach, like the actual Undokai sports coach, it's his job to yell at them for that. And it's like, no, this is actually at-home etiquette that they should have already been taught. You know, like.
And that's my biggest fear about sending my kid to a Japanese school. You know? And we have home visitation here. That's something that we don't have in the States.
Mm-hmm.
The parents from school, they visit the homes of each and every child. I mean, you can imagine having that in the States, right? We have parent night, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Parents go to the school. But here, the teachers visit every child's home at the beginning of the new school year. And the reason for that is they want to see what the child's home environment is like. You know, where they play, okay, where they sleep, how the rooms look. And these visitations, they go all the way from first grade all the way to the, ninth grade?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's amazing because the teachers, they come and they're basically just inspecting the household and what kind of home the child is being raised in.
It's pretty much almost a version of Child Protective Services, right? Wouldn't you say? Like it's not. They're not necessarily accusing you of anything, but
social workers coming in.
Yeah.
But it's like Roman's teacher, when she came to have an interview, I told her, I said, I know what Roman is like at home, but I don't know how he is when he's with you guys. And I know that you guys take it upon yourself to correct certain things, as far as behavior and what have you. I want to be a part of that. Okay, whatever he does, okay, that is not a part of the norm. What you feel is just not what he's supposed to be doing. You call me and you tell me exactly what happened, because I want to be a part of that. I want to take care of that because that's my job. The teachers start crying, dude.
Yeah, because a responsible parent, it's not really too common. Here's the big...
Like, I've never heard that before. I've never heard a parent say that before.
Yeah, well, they're used to the two big things, and it's even a katakana word now, is the monster parent and the helicopter parent, right?
Yeah.
There's either the parent that comes in and blames the teacher for everything their kid does wrong. I mean, absolutely ridiculous stuff that, like, the teacher has no control of and really is 100% the student and the parent's fault. And, like, it can even be something like their kid fights another kid and they're like, well, you should have never let him fought that kid. And it's like, no, maybe you should teach your kid not to be an animal, right?
Yeah, and they're like, well, what are you guys teaching our kids at this school? And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know? And the support system that the mothers have here is ridiculous. You know? You have one mother who will say something like that, and you'll have others come in and support that mother.
Yeah.
And say, yeah, what are you guys teaching our kids? You know, and I'm like, what the hell?
To a point that a whole class can actually class via parents. Like, I've seen it. I've had one where I worked, and it was two third-level kindergarten classes, and both the parents hated each other. And they would even do stuff like snipe at each other through their kids, like to bully other kids, and crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, I see it all the time, man. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, that's some of the negatives.
There was this one lady. Her daughter was going to the same JUCO as another kid, and the other kid got a higher score than her daughter, right? So what this mother does, she invites the whole class to her house for a pizza party, except for that one girl. Isn't that cold?
Not cool.
And she went all out. She had pizza delivered. They had ice cream. They had all kinds of treats and what have you. And she made sure that she told everyone to make it known that she did not invite that other person on purpose. And these kids went back and said, you know, oh yeah, we had such a good time. You know, we had such a good time. And she was, you know, she was encouraging and she was instigating the bullying of that one little girl. And she came to me and she told me what happened. I was like, oh, that's just cold. I said, let's go talk to your mom. I think that we should go talk to your mom.
That's messed up.
You know, it was just heinous, man. That's ugly, dude. How can you do that though? You know?
Yeah, way to go. You just totally punked a little 5-year-old. Like, great job.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right.
Ruthless.
Okay. Yeah. So, when my wife first got pregnant, how was it? Well, it was pretty planned. I will tell you that we were like super planned and ready to have a kid. Our in-laws were like really excited. How about yours? They were really excited?
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's like there were a lot of unknowns, you know, because it's really traditional for the families to be really involved in the pregnancy.
Oh, okay. Like, did you have that 6-week thing where like the wife stays with the mother-in-law for 6 weeks after?
They told me that's what was going to be happening, but I told them that I wasn't down with that, and everything just went from sugar to shit.
Yeah, well, for people who don't understand what we're talking about, it's traditionally, as you were just talking about, the wife, after coming home from the hospital, usually stays with the mother-in-law or her own mother, right?
She was with her mother.
Yeah, she stays with her mother at her mother's house for 6 weeks.
Yep.
And I mean, we're talking just them, no husband involved. The husband comes home to a lonely house with nobody but themselves.
And Mickey D's for breakfast and lunch and dinner every day.
Can you imagine? Yeah, I told my wife right away. How about this? What about with your kid? Did your kid sleep with you, or did you have a room for your kid?
Oh no, Roman, he still sleeps with us.
Oh, okay. So see, that's another thing. Like, some people choose, the Japanese way is always to sleep together, right?
Yeah.
And for us, we did the opposite. We had a room for him right away. Like, from the day he came home from the hospital, he had his own crib and room and everything.
Really?
Yep.
No, because you know that's another thing. Because Minako, she breastfed him.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever he would get up, or it was time for him to feed, she would just turn over, and he was right there.
Right.
And I'm sorry, man. I think it's just me, but I wouldn't feel comfortable having him in another room, or even in the crib. I always had him there next to me, and that's where he is right now as well.
Right.
He has his own room.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own room, mind you. But whenever he decides to sleep in it by himself, he'll let me know.
Okay. Fair enough, right? I think that's kind of to each their own type of situation.
There you go.
I think it's all in the way you were raised and everything that you. And I don't know if there is so much a plus or downside to it, right?
You get a lot of people who know it's best that you separate yourself from the child as soon as possible to teach them independence. I'm like, oh, forget that, man. But then I'm doing this for me.
Right.
Okay, for my peace of mind.
Right. It's
I want to know
understandable.
where he is all the time. If something happens, I want to be right there when it does happen.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and in general, it tends to work out better, I think, with the way Japanese houses and apartments are laid out. Having everybody in the same room kind of works out better. Number one, you're not turning on an air conditioner or a heater in every room at the end of the night, because you don't have any kind of central heating or air condition. It's not like the States.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be, especially in winter, huh?
Yeah.
Wintertime, man. I miss central heating. I do.
Yeah. I've definitely talked about this one before. You never feel warm enough. Like,
No.
none of that stuff. Like, they've got, like, a special table. What's that table called? Where it's got the...
Katatsu.
Yeah.
Kotatsu, I'm sorry. Kotatsu.
Yeah. It's like a table with a blanket hanging off of it, and it usually has a heater on the inside, right?
Yeah. There's a heater under the table, and it basically just heats the whole blanket up.
Yeah. And that's cool. I got some, like, hot feet then, and then the rest of my body's freezing.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a danger also in having those. They say that you can get burnt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people, they get burnt, if they stay in them too long.
That would make sense. I actually don't have, like, a lot of traditional stuff here. Our house is, like, pretty westernized, but...
Yeah, we are too. And Minako, she was against getting one because she was afraid that, this is a very good idea as well. Not getting one is good because it'll make you lazy. Because once you're inside, you never, ever want to get out. Because it's so warm and comfy.
Yeah, that's true. That can happen, man. That can happen.
Hey, but Scott, did your wife, did she go back to her hometown and stay with
Oh, no. I said the same thing, too. I said, there's no way we'll do that. And she was all right with it right away. Like, I think that's something important that people should work out is make sure you're in agreement with how you're going to raise your kid before you even, like make sure you have the same ideals, because otherwise you might find yourself really surprised. I have talked to other Gaijin who did actually, the wife wanted to sleep in a separate room with just the kid. And they're like, no, you're going to sleep in this room, and I'm going to sleep in this room with the kid, because you'll just wake him up when you come home from work late. And they were like, what? This is a strange setup. Like, and obviously that's something you definitely want to have worked out before you have the kid, right? Because, I mean, that can lead to huge relationship problems, and then that'll lead to problems for your kid too, unfortunately. So yeah, we made sure of everything first, and that, yeah, we're pretty Western style as far as that. And even her mom was like, yeah, you don't have to do that, like,
Really? Well, that's cool, man. Minako's mom, she flipped.
Really?
For the first week, it was like, there's no way that you guys can, take care of the child and work at the same time. And I was like, no, man, I'll cook. I did all the cooking. I did all the cleaning. I did all the shopping. Minako and Roman, they stayed in the room. I rented videos for them, and she just, she took care of Roman. I put him in the bath at night. It was a double deal, man.
Right.
Together,
I think that's what they're afraid of is, and maybe it's not so much that they don't expect it, but they're just not used to the idea of a husband and wife sharing things hanbun, half and half, right? Like, that's more of our style. From a, Western style is we share everything. I do the laundry, she does the laundry, I make lunch for the kids, she does it. Like, they're just not used to that. Usually it becomes more of a business relationship in a Japanese type traditional marriage where the woman is going to do all of that stuff. And this is by no means sexist or anything. I'm just saying this is a tradition, okay?
That's the way it is, though,
Yeah. Yeah, and she'll do the cooking. She'll do the making the lunch, taking care of the kid, creating dinner when he comes home, all the laundry, all the cleaning in the house, and then the husband's just working. And don't get me wrong, it's not like they don't have a lot. They got a 12-hour day, right?
Yeah.
So, and
But what about like your son's name? Does he have a Japanese name?
that's a very good question. Okay, so this is what I did. Kenny, I have it spelled in katakana, and I also have it in English, and that's his American name because he'll have both passports. But his middle name is Rei, and that is the Japanese name. You know,
Okay.
R-E-I, and it has a kanji. So if he decides later he would prefer to stay in Japan, he has access to both names. Yeah.
Okay. No. This is my last kid, man.
Uh-huh.
This is it for me. I'm not having any more children after this.
Uh-huh.
And Roman, no. We didn't have room for a Japanese name.
Oh, okay, okay.
Roman Armando Renteria. So his name is just too long, dude. It was just too long for a Japanese name to be put in there, and we didn't give him a Japanese name. His name is written in katakana. You know, it's written in katakana. So you know that's
Well,
and he lives in Japan. He can speak Japanese. So.
And you chose a name that's not like too difficult for the Japanese pronunciation. Like Roman, it just becomes Roman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's something else people should really think about. Like I really thought for a long time, like I really wanted the name Malachi, but Malachi in Japanese is gonna be really difficult for them to say. So, yeah. Yeah, so I just stuck with Kenny, where they could just make Ken, which is a Japanese name, or you can just stick with Kenny too, and that's still not difficult.
There you
Yeah.
go. No, I don't really see the purpose of just Yeah, I think if you give your child a Japanese name, it's really cool. But I really didn't see the purpose of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just didn't give him a Japanese. And Minako's mom again kind of flipped out.
Really?
Yeah, she was like, if you I can't pronounce his name. I said, well, look, I'll teach you. Roman. Okay, so she eventually got it, right? But she was like, you should give him a Japanese name. And as a matter of fact, I think like the first 2 weeks, she went and took it upon herself to choose a Japanese name for him.
What?
Yeah, so in private, I think she was calling him something like Rintaro or something like that,
I
So
would
was
not
like-
be very happy with
I remember
that.
when she was like, Rintaro-kun. I was like, what? I said, what did your mother just call my son? She said, I don't know. She's over there playing. She's like giving him names. So I told her, I said, hey, you're going to confuse him. So don't call him that. That's not his name. So it's like, I think for the first year, I think we butted heads. Like,
Oh
pretty
man,
hard.
yeah, it sounds like it. I would have. I mean, honestly, I would have done the exact same stuff you did. I would have been like, no, there's no nicknames or anything goofy like that.
I mean, she was calling him like a Japanese name, behind my back, and I was like, no, because we're calling him, and he's responding to his name, but you calling him something else is going to confuse him.
Especially at that age when they're just born, it's like super difficult, right? I mean, you want to get that programmed in right away, and I think that's true too. Like if you have any kind of issue with name, it needs to be solved right away before it becomes a part of the family tradition, right? You don't want to, right? We don't want to get any of that stamped in there. Yeah, I think you're right too. I don't think it affects anything if they just have a purely Gaijin name, because there is Japanese people with Gaijin names. They're totally okay. And then there's the half people who are even, idols, movie stars, Grabia idols and stuff like that. And they have fully Gaijin names, first and last. They're totally okay, right?
Yeah. I mean, there was a kid yesterday. His name is Nike.
Mm-hmm. Nike. Okay.
Nike, dude. I was like, Nike. Oh, okay. I got this other kid. His name is Tom.
Uh-huh.
Your name is Tom? He said, yeah, my name is Tom.
That's true. I have a kid in my class. His name's Matthew, and he's just 100% Japanese parents. They don't speak any English.
If they're doing it, why do I have to go out of the way, to give them a Japanese name?
It's becoming more common too, I think, right? Like, Gaijin names are becoming more common.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And actually, I never knew this until I was going to name my kid. Do you know if you choose kanji, that the government has to approve your kanji?
Really?
Yeah, like you can't choose crazy kanji. Like if you tried to make him like Akuma Oni Shinigami or something like a crazy, like they'd be like, no, no.
Did you know that there was a kid actually named Akuma, and that was a big thing out here?
Really? But was it the kanji for demon?
You know what? I'm not quite sure, but his name was Akuma.
That's
And I think the kanji was probably the same because I mean people lost their minds, and they had to change the name of their own child.
oh,
And
they did.
when they asked them why they named their son the devil, okay,
Hmm.
that's basically what it means, demon, right?
Yeah, yeah, demon, devil, evil.
When they asked him why, you know, his rationalization with this was, we wanted a name for our son that once you heard it, you never forget it.
Well, done
I
and
mean,
done.
but damn, you know. I mean, he had people just flipping out, you know. And it took about a year, but they eventually changed his name to something else.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. That's one of those ones where I'm gonna stay on the fence with it, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if I could take a side because at one point I'd want him to have like, you know, like it doesn't have any kind of connotation really. It's not really connected to a religion or a political matter or anything. I mean, it's just a word that means like evil, devil, or demon. You know, it's not like Christianity in America where it's connected to like, you know, religious and political stuff.
Yeah.
So,
But he had to change it nonetheless.
yeah.
They had to change it.
Well, you know what I was thinking recently? I just saw the new Sadako 3D, and I always wondered, well, after that movie came out, like the Ring movie and Sadako, does no one name their kid Sadako anymore? Because I mean, wouldn't that be like
I think they were going to refrain from using that name.
right? Like, so if you make a horror movie about like, because there's only like, you know, there's not as many combinations as you would expect. Like, does that ruin the name forever? Like,
You know what? I think it does because, I don't know, I mean, Japanese people are really, really self-conscious about that, and they're so, as you know, man, they're so worried about what society is going to, you know, how they're going to look at them, you know. So I think that name is pretty much trashed after the movie. You know?
that's a shame. Like, right? Like, what?
But then again, you know, the kanji, the way they put the kanji together, it might, you know, sound something, you know, different. But I don't think they would use the same kanji for the gal in the movie.
But what if you were named like before that movie came out? You're like screwed for the rest of your life. Like,
no, it's probably a coincidence. No, but no, I think after that, man, I think a lot of parents would not, you know.
all right, cool
they
enough.
wouldn't go for that movie.
All right, well, we're reaching the end of the 30 seconds here, so we'll go ahead and just bring it to a close. I'll get all this set up, and we'll be online and showing this to everyone who's watching. I hope everybody enjoyed today. I'm Unrested.
Yeah, my brother, we're gonna do it again.
Yep. And you are Samurai, Mexican Samurai 100.